Hello, and welcome back to Christine's Mom Picks. I am Christine. Today I want to talk about what you need for a bath. I'm going to go over ages about newborn to 1 year old because there are two different kind of tubs that I am using for the two ages of babies, and the products differ kind of slightly, but not too much. But I just want to show you everything that we've used. Weston right now is 7 months, and don't excuse the Halloween decorations, but we're getting a little festive over here. But I did want to show you like what we used when we first brought him home. Granted, we didn't bathe him for the first, I want to say almost 10 days. And then when we did bathe him, we were just using water for like a first couple of weeks at least before we started introducing soap. We kind of just went off like the pediatrician's advice, and she was kind of saying that we didn't really need to bathe them right away. Again, that's also what made us feel comfortable too, because he had a lot of the natural just like lubricants from the delivery, and we wanted to keep his skin nice and hydrated. So with that being said, when he was a newborn, what we did is we placed him in this little thing, and it is kind of like, it's made of like beans, so it's really soft. It's almost like a Beanie Baby, kind of like that material, that texture. So what we did is we took this, we placed it into the sink, and we placed in the sink in our bathroom, just because it was kind of a deeper sink and it had like the width that would allow his body to go into it. I think you could also put him in your kitchen sink if that's like your biggest sink. But we used this one for about the first couple weeks just because he did grow really fast. So he kind of outgrew the sink, outgrew this. So we immediately, I want to say after just a few weeks, transitioned to this tub. And this is something we're still using while Weston is 5 months right now. This is something we love because you can fill the water up in here. And so it kind of is like touching his body while he's in the tub. And this is by the brand Skip Hop. And when you buy this, it also comes with this right here. It's like shaped like a little whale. So this just allows you to scoop water and pour it over his body. This is something like your bathtub doesn't come with one, or your little bath that you get for your baby like this doesn't come with a scooper, I would absolutely just use like a cup, or just like a just any kind of dish that will allow you to like scoop water from the tub and drizzle the water over your baby just to keep them warm. Another tip that we like to do, because this one has his whole front body exposed while he's bathing, I like to take one of my muslin cloths and soak it in the water, like the hot water, while he's bathing, and place it over his body. And then throughout the bath, I just drizzle warm water over it just to make sure that he continues to stay warm, because they're little babies. They're really fragile. They're really like tiny, and they need to keep that warmth going. We do also try to like keep the bathroom pretty warm as well, just so he doesn't feel super cold, because I know at first when we were trying to figure everything out, he did seem a little frustrated with the whole bathing situation, just because he was so tiny and he would get cold so easily. So this is kind of like the hack that we've been doing, is just taking the muslin cloth and placing it over his body. Also, something so important with this is when he is done with his bath, I personally don't like picking up a naked baby because they're slippery, especially when their skin's super wet. So we like to place this, once it's damp, underneath his body. And then my husband will like pick him up, give him to me, and then I'll have the towel ready to like kind of do the handoff. And then he'll like slip this from underneath him so that he can take this and hang it to dry elsewhere. But that way we feel like we've got like that grip, so we can make sure he's not going to like slip out of our hands. Cause like it's scary, especially with like our tub being like like a hard material. We don't want any accidents. So we're just like always being overly cautious with these things. So yeah, so this tub is an absolute must. We love it so much. I do think it's on the higher price point, so I think you could probably find something a little more affordable, but the brand is Skip Hop, and I'll link it. But I do love that it comes with this as well. But again, there are cheaper alternatives out there, such as just using a plastic cup. But this, again, also the muslin, I would say it's a must, because it keeps Weston warm. And ever since we started using this, which has been now for a long time, he's 7 months, so the last at least 6 months, so pretty much since he's been bathing, this, I feel like as he's been taking baths, he's no longer crying and like frustrated when we do them. He seems like more excited about it, and he just seems more content. And I think content is what we're going for, because I know he's never going to be like super excited at this point, because he's a baby and doesn't really know what's going on. But as long as he's comfortable and like happy and doesn't show signs of frustration and being cold, it's a win for me. So as I mentioned, once my husband hands over Weston to me, I am there with a towel. We got this one from Burt's Bees. I like this because it's got the little hood. It was super affordable, I think like $10. And I like to hold it and then put the hood over his head to keep his head warm. And it's like really soft material. I personally love this one. I only have one, so I feel like I need to like I'm constantly washing it. Granted, we only bathe him like twice a week at this point. Just because he also has showing signs of like sensitive skin, so I don't want to irritate it. But this is something I would absolutely recommend. I purchased mine off Amazon, but I've seen it at Marshalls before. Burt's Bees has sales all the time. And as you know, I love a deal. So definitely check out their website. But this is something I would probably invest in like 2 or 3 of, just because sometimes I've had to use like our bath towels and they work just as fine. But like I love the hooded part just because it keeps it nice and warm. So for bathing him, we like to use sponges. So I get this pack off Amazon. It's just 3 of them. They look like this once they are no longer vacuum sealed. So they're just different shapes, but I really like these because again, it's really cheap and I try to switch them out every, I don't know, couple washes just because sometimes like there'll be a little discoloration. So I'm like, okay, I think it's time to switch it up, get something new. But again, they're so cheap that it's like, to me, it's not a big deal. And what I love about this is so I'll take this and then I'll soak it into the water and then just I try to wipe his face first before I put any soap just to like clear his eye boogies, and he's now eating solid. So I want to make sure I'm cleaning that face and getting everything off of there. And then I'll go in and I'll place some of our soap on here and scrub his whole body down. The soap that I like to use is this one. It's called Mustela. I love this brand. It's their gentle cleansing gel. I feel like it's super gentle on Weston's skin. It says hair and body. We don't use it for his hair. We use a different shampoo, which I'll show in a second. But I love the brand. I love the way it smells. I love the ingredients. I love how sensitive it is. So to me, this is just something I'll probably use for a while. The other brand that I have is the Honest brand, and that is a bubble bath and I think a body wash as well. I think it's a 2-in-1. I'll have to double check, but that's another brand I'm excited to try because I also know that they use clean ingredients, and I really want gentle ingredients on Weston's skin just because he is a baby and he has been showing signs of like rashes, like kind of different rashes throughout his life. So I just want to make sure whenever I'm using anything on his body, it's specifically made for sensitive skin and for babies. So that's again why I really like this, because it says like bebe infant on it on this. So I just know, and it also says from birth on. So I know that this will be gentle on him. And last but not least, the shampoo that I use is this one, again, the Mustela brand. I like this one because it's a foam and I put it on this Frida Cradle Crap. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I always say Cradle Cap brush. So I'll like put a couple squirts on there and then I will massage it into his head. Weston had really bad cradle cap when he was born, and it lasted, honestly, his whole hair fell out. So he was born with a ton of dark brown hair. And I want to say by 4 months, the cradle cap was getting really bad and it would just like flake off and chunks of hair would fall like go with it. And now that he's 7 months, he's got a whole new head of hair and it's kind of like more of my shade, like a strawberry blonde, kind of more blonde. But this would help kind of like release the scales on his head and kind of soften them because I personally didn't want to like pick it myself. It kind of grossed me out a little bit. My husband loved it, but I just didn't want to do that. So I like this because I felt like it was a gentle way to remove those scales from his head. But I did love this shampoo. Once he got out of the bath, then we would apply lotion all over his body. We would again use this brand for the body lotion. I love the scent of it. I know fragrance is a gum, but it's like a very natural scent to it. So it's not like too overpowering. And I would use this brand's lotion all over his body, but on his face, I buy the Tubby Todd ointment. And I love the Tubby Todd ointment because it feels like it is solving each rash that comes along for Weston. So whether it's eczema or he's got the teething rash or the drooling rash, sometimes I was even putting it on his head for the cradle cap. And I felt like every single time I used it, it was like really helpful. So to me, these are just all brands that I really love. And again, I'm just all about the ingredients that they use because it's super clean. So that is kind of everything that we use for Weston's bath time. Again, he's 7 months right now. So when he gets a little bit older, probably I feel like it's going to happen soon because he's starting to sit up and he's starting to sit up unsupported. So I think eventually we will move him out of this tub that we're using and place him into something that will either like keep him secure by sitting up, or we will just sit in there with him. And then at that point, I'll probably introduce bath toys to make it more of an exciting, entertaining experience. But we're not there yet. We'll hold the horses on that one. We're only 7 months in, so let's enjoy where we are right now, because right now he just is living the life. He just lays there, gets his water poured on him, and just like he's so smiley too. It's the best. Again, I think it's because I keep him warm with that muslin cloth on top of him. So I hope this is super helpful on how to bathe your infant slash newborn. I will link everything that I use that I've loved. I will also link other things that I have, like such as the Honest, that other brands that I love and ones that I've wanted to use. Just because there's some variety, because this might work fantastic for Weston, but it might not work for your baby. I think all babies are different, obviously, and their skins are different. So I want to be mindful that I'm giving enough variety for you to test out if this brand happens to not work for you. So again, I hope this was super helpful. I post my videos every Sunday, so hit subscribe and get the notification so you can see when my video comes out. And don't forget to like and comment on any products that you've been using for your baby that you absolutely loved, or products that you're really excited to try. I'd also be super curious to know, like, when your baby did get past the stage of this little tub and became more of that toddler being able to sit up in the tub, like, how was your experience, and like what bath toys did you love? All right, thank you. Bye.